Hi, we're going to learn how we can overlap as one of our principles of animation. I'm going to go ahead and make a simple polygon cube. I'm going to go ahead and scale it, and I'm going to try and make an appendage or some sort of tail or a hair or a finger that can teach you how to get the overlaps in. I'm going to duplicate this, Control D to duplicate, and I'm going to move it right, Control D to duplicate, and I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to have about 7 duplicates. The goal here is to show you if this was a tail, a finger, an appendage, how can I get this to overlap? I'm going to select all these cubes and say modify, freeze transformation so it can zero out all my values right here. Modify, freeze transformations. All my cubes values are zeroed out. The next thing, what my goal is, I want to be able to rotate this appendage to the right or the left. So in my outliner, I'm going to actually go ahead and first position the pivot to the base of each cube. I'm going to go ahead and keep D pressed on my keyboard and put it to the base of each cube. D, I select the cube, I press D, and a base of the cube. Select the cube, D, the pivot is being changed. Notice this does not add any values to my translates. It's only meant to change the pivot so it rotates about that center. This is where it will rotate. I'm going to parent all these together. So P cube 6 would be the child to P cube 5. So I'm parenting. 5 will be to 4. So I select the child first, which is P cube 4 to P cube 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1. So when I select the first cube and now I rotate, all the children rotate with it. If I select all these individually by dragging, so you can see the dot, 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 I have more than one cube selected, I can get this to actually overlap, which is what I'm trying to teach you how to get this to work. Now, let's go ahead and first set our key poses. We always do pose-to-pose animation, so I'm at keyframe number 1. I'm going to make sure I select all my cubes. I say S to key. At keyframe number 10, I'm going to start with the main cube at the bottom. I'm going to move it to the left. I say S to key. Make sure all the children are keyed as well. I'm making sure that all the children are keyed. I'm very organized about my keyframes. At 20, I'm going to make this appendage tail move backwards. S to key. And all the children again are keyed as well. So I just have to drag across it, hit S to key. So all the children, as you can see, have keys at 1, 10, and 20. Let's go to 30. I'm going to bring this cube back in the front. Same position as 10. The way to copy paste a key is I could right click, say copy, go to 30, and say paste. All the children again, make sure everything is organized and keyed. At 40, I wanted to come back in the front, so I go to keyframe number 1. Another shortcut to copy it is middle click, drag your mouse, S to key. Middle click, drag your mouse, S to key. At 50, I'm going to make this lie down on the ground, rotate X 90 degrees, S to key, select all the children, and I say S to key again. At 60, I make it come back up, S to key, and all the children again. So let's see what's going on here. Right click, playback speed, real time. So I'm going to go to the left, go to the back, front, lie down and back. Now my goal is to look at this appendage and see how I can get the overlaps in. The way I'm going to achieve that is by getting a drag. So what I'm going to do is We're going to learn how we can get our overlaps and follow through as one of your principles of animation. I'm going to go ahead and make a simple polygon cube. I'm going to make some sort of tail that's going to be one on top of each other right now. I'm going to make a tail, duplicating these cubes, Control D. I have about 5 or 6 cubes, and I'm going to make this a tail, about 6. It's perfect. I'm going to select all these cubes. Before you animate, always make sure you freeze transformation so everything is zeroed out and nice and organized. Because I want this to rotate like a tail, I want to make sure I fix its pivot points. Currently the pivot points are at the center of each cube. So I'm going to press D, and I'm going to put the pivot point at the base of each cube. Press D, you select the cube, press D, you're on the move tool, and then you are moving the pivot by pressing D to the base of each cube. Once you're done, you can press D again, and you're done. I'm going to parent all these cubes to each other so I can form a hierarchy of a tail. P cube 6 would be the child to P cube 5. P cube 5 would be the child to P cube 4. The way to parent: you select the child first, press Shift, select the one underneath it, and P to parent, and you can see the hierarchy being formed right here in the outliner. P cube 3, Shift select P cube 2, P cube 2, Shift select P cube 1, and P to parent. So now when I select all these cubes and I rotate it, I can get this lovely tail or finger overlapping action, which is what I want to try and achieve. I'm going to first start by setting my key poses. At keyframe number 1, I'm going to set a key, and I'm going to make sure that all my cubes have a key on them. I want to be organized about it. I'm not just setting a key on the parent, all the children are keyed as well. At 10, I'm going to make sure that this cube travels on the X. I say S to key. At 20, I'm going to make it go back, S to key. At 30, I wanted to come back in the front, the same as keyframe 10. So I'm going to come to 10, middle click and drag my mouse, say S to key. Or you could always right click, say copy, come to 30 and paste a key. At 40, I wanted to come back to where we started, so the same keyframe as 1, middle click and drag S to key. At 50, I'm going to make sure I make this lie down, and at 60, it's back up. Make sure you select all the children now and set keys at 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60. The goal is that we're very organized and all the children have the keys. You want to make sure that all the parts of the body that make up this tail, make up this finger are keyed. So if you select P cube 6, you'll see that everything has a key on it. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to add the overlap in. So the rule is when my object is going left, halfway through, all the children will drag in the direction it's coming from. So all these children at 5 will drag in the direction that it's coming from, and I will say S to key. You will also make sure that the parent is keyed, which is the big cube at the bottom, S to key. So here, to get the overlap, I am dragging it in the direction that it's coming from. Now it's moving back. So at 15, I am going to rotate all the children forward. The exaggeration's up to you. And I'm going to say S to key and make sure the parent is keyed as well. So let's see this. I'm going to the left, so it's dragging this way to the right. I'm going back, so it's dragging forward. At 25, it's coming forward, so it's going to drag backwards. Make sure everything is keyed, including the parent, so I just drag across everything to stay organized. At 35, it's going to the right. It's going to the right. So I'm going to drag this to the left. and S to key. Everything has to be keyed at 35. At 45, it's lying down. So select all the children, and I'm going to drag it back. S to key. And then at 55, it's coming back up. So it's dragging down. Basically the opposite. So now see how I get this overlap to work. So the rule is, just to re-emphasize, when the tail or the appendage or the finger moves to the right, it drags to the left. So you have to get this little overlapping action. If it's moving to the front, it's dragging to the back, all the children. The next rule is that everything is keyed in an organized manner. The next thing you want to do is, none of the overlaps will ever be straight because this is purely animated with all the follow through and overlaps. So at the key poses, which is 10, 20, 30, the top two or the top three will still drag. So maybe we can choose the top two at 10, drag it in the direction it's coming from. At 20, it's going back, so I'm going to drag it forward. So they don't look nice and loose. You want to basically loosen it up. So at 30, you want to drag those top two backwards, S to key. At 40, drag it in the direction it's coming from, S to key. At 50, drag it up. Now at 60, we want to add the follow through. So it's coming up, so it's going to go forward. Now every 2 or 3 frames, I'm going to make it settle to get the follow through. Nothing stops without a follow through. So about 3 frames each. This is all about your timing. I'm going to select this, zero it out, and then this one can come forward. And then maybe 2 frames later, this one will have the follow through, back and forth and back and forth, and you can type 0, S to key. This would have loosened it up with the follow through. There you go, that follow through at the end, and my object is overlapping. So you drag the object in the direction it's going. So right here, this is going to the left, this is going to be dragging to the right, and then here are the follow throughs. The other thing you want to remember is that everything is keyed in an organized fashion. That's the next thing you want to remember. We're going to learn how we can get our overlaps. We're going to learn how we can get our overlaps and follow through as one of your principles of animation. I'm going to go ahead and make a simple polygon cube. I'm going to make some sort of tail that's going to be one on top of each other. Right now, I'm going to make a tail, duplicating these